A wokeaholic is someone so obsessed with proving their moral superiority that they become delusional and pathetic, hijacking every moment to preach or virtue signal. Their desperate need for attention alienates everyone around them, turning real issues into hollow performances and a public display of idiocracy. Here are the times wokeaholics were humbled and eventually destroyed. Give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment about your personal experiences with these delusional, Dorito deep-throating wokies. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you never miss anything.
So, mostly with this Peterson controversy, which is really just a small drama, a tempest in a teapot, he could just get over learning to program a few pronouns into his phone. By the way, I only have half a dozen or so that I actually use on an everyday basis, so it's not all that difficult.
Professor Peterson, sorry, Professor Peterson, good jumping because I think Professor Peterson wants to get in on that.
Yeah, well, kindness is the excuse that social justice warriors use when they want to exercise control over what other people think and say. So, if we're bandying back and forth our differences in values, I would say that the highest possible value is truth, and that one of the concomitants is that we need stringent protection for freedom of speech so that we can utter the truths that we see fit. And I think that that's a value that's much higher than kindness, for example. I mean, there's lots of situations in life where kindness in the immediate present is not the appropriate way to react at all. So, for example, when you discipline children, you often hurt their feelings in the short term so that they can learn to behave properly in the medium to long term so that their lives go well. And so this automatic assumption that the people on the social justice warrior side of the equation are motivated only by kindness when they're also clearly motivated by power is something I find completely untenable. And I don't think that Pete's solution to program my cell phone so that I can remember what names people need to be called is a reasonable solution at all. We're actually supposed to now use electronic devices to bolster our ability to speak freely.
Kindness is not an excuse to allow and encourage a mental disorder. If a man thinks he is a lion and wants to live in the wild, you can't say you want to appear kind, therefore letting the man stay with dangerous wild animals. That's simply hypocrisy on your part. And since when do we need electronic devices to speak freely?
How you doing, guys? Do you want to tell us why you're here? No. Can you tell us why you're still wearing a mask? Is that for COVID or to protect your identity? Oh. Touch my...
You do not choke me!
Don't grab me. Look at her. So she's the victim now. She's the victim. Look at the victim. She's the victim. They're consolidating the victim. It's no surprise. You saw that. In front of the camera. In front of the police. Everything.
You can see she grabs the mic with a grin on her face, letting us know she has probably done this before and she's enjoying it. But when the security steps in, she is now the victim. That's the crazy thing. A lot of these wokies tend to be very aggressive when they don't get what they want. They either pose as a predator or a false victim.
We shouldn't justify you being here by giving you an audience. You do not speak accurate facts.
What have I said that's not factual or not true or anything that I've said that's racist? Name one thing.
Yeah.
Black people are 13% of the population and they commit 50% of the murders. You can look it up.
Over, please.
Wait, you.
What's your source?
The FBI, the Department of Justice. It is a fact that blacks have a disproportionate amount of the violent crime in their community. Why do you think that is?
I'm not here to debate with you because I don't want to platform you. You're a racist.
Wait, you called me a racist. What have I ever said that's racist, or do you just think numbers are racist?
You said racist. Y'all don't fucking understand statistics. How you speak on numbers?
Thanks for your time.
The sad, brainwashed soy boy doesn't want to give Charlie Kirk with millions of followers a platform? That makes perfect sense. What a defeated young man. He is so lost.
In your court, what matters more? The rights of individuals or your political ideology?
I apply the law to the facts.
I asked a question, which matters more?
Well, my political ideology doesn't matter at all.
Okay, so I don't believe you. And I think this case demonstrates that you are willing to subjugate the rights of individuals to satisfy your political ideology. And this individual, 6'2", biologically a man, a minute ago you said that when this man decided that he was a she, you said this individual was, quote, I wrote it down, sober and entirely a female. That phrase struck me as remarkable. Did this individual have male genitalia?
I think what I said, or at least what
That is a verbatim quote, entirely a female.
Sorry, what I meant to say was hormonally a female.
Okay, but that's not entirely. Did this individual have male genitalia?
Yes.
We have people that are stupid.
So you took a 6'2" serial serial child rapist with male genitalia, and he said, you know, I'd like to be in a women's prison. And your answer was, that sounds great to me. Let me ask you something. The other women in that prison, do they have any rights?
Is that a question you're
Yes,
asking me?
the other women in that prison, do they have any rights?
Of course.
Do they have the right not to have a 6'2" man who is a repeat serial rapist put in as their cellmate?
Senator Cruz, I considered the facts presented to me, and I reached a decision
I asked you a
based on what
question.
the law
I asked you a question. Do they have a right not to have a 6'2" man who is a serial rapist put in as their cellmate? Do those women have a right to that?
Every person who's incarcerated has the right to be safe in their space.
But you...
Sir, I looked at the facts that were before me in this case. All of the evidence, including the statements of every warden who had supervised this petitioner.
You also wrote, the BOP also posits that permitting petitioner to live among women will be traumatizing and possibly dangerous to them. This concern is overblown. I have to say, if I were the father of one of those women, and you decided that my daughter's cellmate was going to be a 6'2" man who over and over and over again committed violent sexual assault, I would say the entire justice system is absurd, and it is clear on your record your political ideology matters a heck of a lot more than the rights of those women that you endangered. I think you're a radical, and I think you have no business being a judge.
Now we have half-brained wokies in charge of our justice system. These things are common sense. How can you put a man who claims to be a transformer as cellmates with women? He was even a serial rapist, a repeat offender. Somebody come collect this blockhead before I lose my cool.
I want to get paid the same as a man, and I think you understand that. So, if you become president, will a woman make the same as a man, and do I get to choose what I do with my body?
You're going to make the same if you do as good a job.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, great.
Okay. So you like to learn, right? What did you learn from the Christchurch mosque shooting where 51 people died at the hands of someone who is influenced by you above all other people? How did you change your rhetoric after this person shot 51 people?
Yeah, you know, I didn't feel like there was a lesson other than people are crazy and we shouldn't give credence to homicidal maniacs when they're putting together cartoons and people that fought against apartheid plus a random American in their thought process. So I learned that that was clearly an ill person, and that any person who believed or gave credence to a manifesto should probably re-examine why that is. That's what I learned. Thank you very much for your question.
That is a very pointless question to ask Miss Harley Quinn. Just because a random mentally ill person justifies the unaliving of multiple people by saying they support a cartoon character, Nelson Mandela and Candace Owens, that doesn't mean she's promoting it. A lot of people take things out of context, and it's actually very ignorant to say the least.
My sister is trans, and she, it's like when someone's like talking about something that directly affects you and they have no skin in the game. None, nada, zero. Like, you know, it's different.
How do you feel about Israel and Palestine?
I mean, I don't think the genocide in Gaza is good.
Do you have skin in the game? So you're upset that you're
not a foreign war, and I'm talking about people's health care.
I'm talking about people's lives. So my mother lives in Israel, my sister, my brother. You have a really strong opinion about Israel. I'm applying your same argument back at you. You don't know what you're talking about. You've got no skin in the game. And
I'm okay.
Okay. You see how that works?
She knows she already lost that argument, and I love the way he used her own logic against her.
Are you glad your parents didn't abort you?
I guess so.
So wouldn't you want to give that gift to somebody else?
No.
No.
She's not a person yet. It's the woman's decision. She has to bear that.
She made that decision when she had sex.
No, she didn't. So a man can just walk away and
No,
freely
men should not walk away. But isn't it half the man? So shouldn't she need permission from the man before she terminates it?
Could the man have a child?
Could the woman have the child without the man?
You
How?
don't have to bear a child and you can die.
You need a sperm.
That's a commitment.
Yes, you need sperm to have a
It's a
child.
commitment for 18 years, and if somebody doesn't think they can give them the best life, then why should you?
No, I think we have clarity. Your perspective is you should be able to have sex with no responsibility.
This is simply hilarious. The way she says, "I guess so," is just so heartbreaking. Then she proceeds to say, "You don't need sperm to create life." These are just dumb woke students that have been brainwashed. I have nothing but pity for people like these.
You keep defining abortion as the murder of babies, which biological fact is you would say most abortions are done before they are actually babies. It's still just a fetus. So my question...
Do you know what the word fetus means?
It's just a cluster. A zygote
that's not what
developing
fetus
into a baby eventually.
The word fetus, it's a Latin word, and it just means offspring. That's all it means. It just means the next generation of a being. So, but that's what a baby is also. I mean, that's what you would call your adult child someday once he's grown, hopefully if he hasn't been
Can I
murdered.
ask my question?
Well, I'm just like to clarify this point. You would call your adult child your offspring too, but all of these terms that you might use, fetus, embryo, the one they love is zygote, which sounds like a Pokemon, but they use all these different terms, but it's all referring to the same being, and you were that being once. You, the person who's standing here right now.
Do you have a memory of being that being?
Oh, and I don't have a memory of last Thursday, frankly. It's been a very busy week, but the lack of a memory doesn't mean it's all right to murder me.
It's crazy how people think a fetus is only a clump of cells. Young lady, you are a clump of cells. We all are.
Next person who has the sheer nerve, the sheer entitled caucasity to say all lives matter, I'm gonna stab you. I'm gonna stab you, and while you're struggling and bleeding out, I'm gonna show you my paper cut and say, my cut matters too. Genuinely did not know this, but cracker apparently is a slur used to oppress white people and silence them. Like, I had no idea that you guys were being called cracker, taffy, 8 Mile, albino, Betty Crocker, cracker jack, dog fucker, egg, pasty, ghost, hick, hillbilly, Keebler, Mayflower, mayonnaise. Like, shit! Like, it's been used to oppress and silence you? Like, damn, I wish it worked. Shut the fuck up. The job that I had worked really hard to get and meant a lot to me just called me and fired me because of everything. I don't know if everyone's seen, but it's been circulating a lot. My Black Lives Matter TikToks were picked up by conservatives and spread and shared, and people were demanding that I be fired, which I just got. My job that I worked really hard for.
See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're gonna find out.
Trump supporters took my job away from me, but now it's just like my future. My future's entirely compromised because Trump supporters have decided to come for my life. God, this sucks. You guys suck.
No one is coming for your life. These are simply the consequences of your actions, lady. You thought it was absolutely fine to be racist toward white people. Now you've lost your job. Congratulations, you have made it to the end of this video. How many brain cells do you think you've lost during this ordeal? Don't forget to like this video and let us know what moment was your favorite. And until next time, remember to watch out for the Wokeaholics. They could be anywhere. Hasta la vista.